Okay, so let's start by talking about the Warner Brothers situation, and then there's some leaks about the DC Lanterns show, which are kind of interesting. This was from some behind-the-scenes look. Some people got to look at a trailer for the Lantern show. But before we get into that, let's kind of discuss this whole Skydance, Paramount, Warner Brothers situation. So the latest news, guys, is that Warner Brothers has told all the bidders, which essentially are just the three parties right now. It's Netflix, Comcast, and it is Paramount. And Paramount just seems far and away the lead in this whole situation, right? But and then maybe a Saudi money fund, but probably not. So it's really just those three. Warner Brothers has asked them to sweeten the offers and resubmit the offers by Monday. Now, that means that a lot of bankers, investment bankers, money managers, and all sorts of financial folks are going to have to work over the weekend to try to calculate and figure out a better offer. This includes probably like securing the actual funding to make an offer, because if you make an offer, you have to follow through on it if it is accepted. So it seems like right now what's going on is they're asking for more money, and this is all about the $30 a share price. So apparently Zaslav has a deal, which this might have been in his contract since the beginning of this shit. But Zaslav's contract states that if he can get the stock to sell, or the company to sell, at $30 a share or more, he literally walks away with $500 million in cash. That's before taxes, but still, that's a nice little bonus. So you can kind of see why there has been so much hoopla and narrative building and the use of all of these different sense-making apparatus, journalistic outlets, etc. I got to be honest here. If I was looking at either getting $500 million or not getting $500 million, I'd probably move heaven and earth to try to get the bidding war to go as high as possible to get that $500 million. Now, the other companies, and I think particularly Ellison, is like dead set against that. And, I don't know if we actually know what the other stock offer was. I think it was around $23 a share. So pretty far away from, that $30 a share mark that Zaslav wants. I would expect we will get this next round of offers, and I think they'll probably accept one of these. I continue to say, I think it's just going to be Paramount. I know there's a lot of reporting out there that maybe the Snyderverse is going to come back and they're doing all these other things. I just don't see it, guys. I think that there are other sort of places and areas to sort of build new IP or to branch out new types of IP. Look at the Rush Hour 4 situation. I think Star Trek is maybe going to get a little bit of a reboot as well. We'll see what goes on with that. Transformers, a lot of stuff. Paramount's been making moves on that front. So I don't know that they really do want to just end all of Gunn's stuff, because they don't, in my opinion, they care more about having the ability to just make a bunch of that content. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where my head's at. That's what I think is going on. And we'll see it bear out. We'll see the numbers, or we'll see the offers come in on Monday. We'll probably know before Christmas if one of those are accepted or not. Honestly, I keep telling you this, and I continue to believe it. I think this thing is going to go down the most boring way possible, meaning Paramount gets it. It's not at $30 a share, although I think the stock could maybe soar to $30 a share after the sell strike point, which is weird. And I don't know what that would mean exactly for the company. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess that part could happen still, I guess, the $30. But regardless, I think you're going to know soon. I think it's going to be Paramount, and I don't think they're going to change much. Now, with that being said, let's look at this, because this is rather interesting. This is the DC Lantern series first trailer details revealed, okay? And there's, from what I've seen, there's some good and there's some bad in here. So let's go over this, okay? So the first trailer for DC Lanterns series was screened during HBO Max's Upfront in Sao Paulo. Now, an Upfront is like, they're just trying to get ads and make, brands that want to collaborate and advertisers excited about the content that's coming out. So although the teaser has not yet been released online, a description of the footage has leaked. Okay, here we go, let's see. The teaser is described as a Western-toned series set in rural America, with Hal Jordan training Jon Stewart as a kind of substitute teacher. The two clash, with Stewart claiming he's better than Hal at saving people. Okay. The series carries a Western-inspired tone, fitting for its rural U.S. setting, with brownish colored palettes reflected in the costumes. Hal and John clash, with John insisting he's better at saving people. A brief show shows Hal Jordan flying, though neither character's uniform is revealed. The teaser includes a quick mention of a squirrel Green Lantern. Okay. So that is if I think this is real, and I think we're probably going to get a look at it rather soon here. And I guess before I give my thoughts on this, I will ask you guys, chat, what do you think of that? I mean, what do you think of the trailer? What do you think of the mention of the squirrel Green Lantern? What do you think? What do you think, man? Like, what do you think's going on? Yeah, no, I think it's real. We'll find out soon. Kind of love it. LOL, DC is dog shit. That's it. Excuse you. When I first saw this, I thought Josh would react like that. Yeah. Rocket worked. Fair. This is the vibe of the Lanterns, to be fair. Okay. Yeah, some fair comments there. So I understand this whole substitute teacher thing. I understand John thinking he's better at saving people or whatever. If they stick to the comics, I believe John was a sniper in the military. So John, Hal was like an Air Force pilot. John was like a sniper, and I believe he served in some of the conflicts in the Middle East, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, I mean, look, I think here's the thing. There's a way this could go that feels natural and fine. And there's a way this could go that would feel icky and feel like Hal Jordan's getting replaced and feel like it's this weird thing to kind of push this character aside. I mean, a lot of people sort of sounded the alarm on this when they cast a 60-year-old Hal Jordan anyways. And of course, I mean, the Justice League Unlimited, Jon Stewart was the Green Lantern, and he was fantastic. And there was a lot of depth to the character and a lot of awesome things they did with the character. I don't know. I mean, I want to be excited about this show. Okay, I really want to be excited for the show. I love the Green Lanterns. I think Green Lanterns is maybe one of the most underserved things from comics in general in the realm of adaptations to live action. That Reynolds John was terrible. Barely any Green Lanterns, even in Zack's stuff, although there is some cool stuff, of course, in the Snyder Cut. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking for more with the Lanterns. I mean, Guy Gardner was better than I expected in Superman, but still not really what I'm looking for out of a Lanterns character, show, plot, etc. Right? So I don't know. For me, there's just a ton of red flags here. And then that's not even to mention the squirrel. So look, the squirrel Green Lantern, you might say, okay, that's just like a little offhanded thing. It's whatever. This is accurate to the comics, etc. But let's be real about this. We all know why this is potentially an issue. It's because it's way too James Gunn. And I would ask you to consider that this is the teaser trailer. This will be the world's first look at this show. Right? And so are we about to get the first look of the Lantern show? And it somehow tries to balance the tone of like a serious Western thing with the kind of more silly, goofy gun tone of Superman. Because we also know, at least I've heard, that Guy Gardner's in the show. And I've also heard that Guy Gardner's going to drop a ton of F-bombs in the show. And I would imagine Guy is going to essentially be the same character that he was in Superman. Now, again, there's a way that can work. But I think like myself and many others in the fandom are like just kind of concerned. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I even want to like use the effort to make it work. Like, just make it serious. And I thought Lanterns was the only thing coming out. Maybe Clayface. I mean, I'm not really into horror, so I'm not going to vibe on it like that, right? But Lanterns to me held the promise of being very not James Gunn. And that's why it's my most anticipated project right now. You know, Supergirl, I am excited for. I have a lot of concerns. And frankly, like, that's just so Gunn. Like, the alcoholic, shattered woman you know, that's so James Gunn, and I get it, you know, the Tom King run, et cetera, et cetera. There's precedence for it, but like, dude, it's not just derivative. It's literally like Superman into Supergirl, but it's also like goofy, silly Superman into goofy, silly Supergirl. That's what it feels like. And until we get marketing that says otherwise, that's the concern. So Lanterns was always a project to me that was like, yo, this is going to be different. This is going to be serious. I mean, it's going to be maybe even dark, you know, potentially connected to like the Black Hand and, you know, Necron and Blackest Night and some of that shit, right? So I don't know, man. I mean, I hear, you know, there's red flags for me is what I'll say. There's red flags. The replacement thing, not only am I concerned personally, but I'm concerned with how the wider fandom would feel about that. I mean, look, some of you guys hate this kind of stuff and you hate when I give sort of air to the chuds. But I'm a chud. And I just got to tell you that, like a lot of chuds right now, or the dude bros, or however you want to call them, they are hypersensitive to replacing legacy characters. I mean, I feel like Gunn's running a Phase 4, Phase 5 playbook, and he's not realizing that shit ruined Marvel, basically. And Marvel's going to be okay, as we're going to discuss in a little bit. They're finally figuring it out and turning it around. But I don't know, man. I mean, I see all sorts of red flags here for this show and for Supergirl, and just, I don't know, man. I mean, and the other thing I'll say before I get out of this segment, and I know that people will just think it's hating or whatever, but the truth is the DCU has like zero motion right now. Like, there's zero social media movement. There's zero motion. The DCU feels like there's nothing going on. Okay, and maybe Marvel is on the other side of that, and it almost feels like there's too much going on with Marvel, and it's like every day there's a this, there's a that, and there's a thing, but like that moves a fandom, like that moves people to engage with the content, and there's a lot of that going on. I mean, I can show you my Twitter and show you like incredible amounts of engagement, and that's just not happening with DC. So I think the truth of the DCU is they are fixing the airplane while it is in the air. Marvel, I think, has proven, at least to me, able to do that, and I still didn't like how Marvel did it. They left a lot on the table. I think they turned a lot of people off. This trailer's going to have to win people back because of all the damage they did. And when it comes to DC, I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, that's just what I see. That's literally how I see it. That's what I think is going on. And all sorts of red flags and reasons to be concerned. So that's kind of the take on that. I wonder if you have any more comments, questions about this and the whole DC situation. I mean, what do you guys think? Like, do you think it's going to take maybe getting to Supergirl to turn this around? Do you think Gunn needs to announce? Because Gunn announced Man of Tomorrow, and I got to be honest with you, I don't think it moved the needle at all. Like, I did not see a whole bunch of people very excited about it. I just didn't. So, I mean, what do you guys think? John is my lantern, so I don't mind, but I can understand why people don't want Hal to be replaced. But I also don't get why he is being replaced when you got Guy Gardner around. Can be, yeah. I mean, there's stuff that I guess what you're saying is there's stuff we don't know. Maybe there's a way that it'll make sense. DC is cooked until Gunn is canned. He's too goofy and weird. Josh, you watch Stranger Things? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I think the jury's out on Gunn, but I'm just calling the problems as I see them. Right. As far as Stranger Things is concerned, I'm 2 episodes in and there's something off. It's not bad. I'm not saying that it's bad, but there's something off, and I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm not vibing with it the way I wanted to. I've heard the last 2 of the 4 really are great, though, and save it, so to speak. So that's kind of my thoughts on Stranger Things. I wonder, what are you guys thinking of Stranger Things? I think people need to relax about Lanterns being delayed to summer. HBO has loaded winter, spring, summer, King of the Seven Kingdoms, House of the Dragon, and Euphoria. Remember, it's HBO, not Max. Yeah, that's absolutely true, but I think a lot of the DC fans just don't care. Like, that would be like if there was a reason a Disney Plus show got delayed and then you were to say, oh, well, look at all the content Disney Plus has. Like, dude, it's a Disney Plus thing. It's not a Marvel Studios thing. I mean, no fan is going to be like, oh, okay, yeah. You know what I mean? No, the fans want their content and they want it on a nice frequency at a nice quality. That's, I think, okay, too. I think it's okay to want that. The dialogue was so dry and explaining every little thing. There's something off. I don't know what I mean, I think they just waited too long, dude. These kids look like they're 50 years old. I mean, I am trying, and I think the craftsmanship's on full display. Like, you can definitely tell sharp editing, great choreography, great camera work, but like, dude, there's just something missing. Something off. I won't get to watch Stranger Things until I get home Sunday. Yeah, so I've only seen 2 of the 4, right? So I can only speak to that. But I have heard it's going to get much better in the last 2. You think they're phoning it in? I don't know if I would say they're phoning it in. I just think there's something missing. There's like a magic that's kind of gone, in my opinion, and I'm not sure. Like, it's not like I'm gonna not watch it, but I'll say this: just after these 2 episodes, unless I'm incredibly impressed with the rest of the season, I'm not gonna go to the movie theater to watch this finale. Like, you know what I mean? Warhammer Heroes Series 6 Dark Angels. What the hell does that mean? Oh, you mean the new Heroes series? Is that out? Yeah, people actually don't like that set, to be honest. They said the poses were too similar to other things. Baby Bird, what up, though? Episode 4 is great. I've heard that. Yeah. Feels like they've been apart too much. The chemistry has shifted. Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably accurate, yeah. Episode 4 was awesome. The reveal at the end of 2 was so obvious, but it pissed me off. But it gets better after that. Yeah, Elisa called that shit mad early, too. Maybe it's the childhood nostalgia magic missing from these adult actors. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think they just waited too long. And I don't even know why. Why did they wait so long to make these seasons? Is it like a contract thing? I don't really understand it. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, guys, that's our DC updates. I mean, I wish I had better things to report, man. I think the thing that Gunn like underestimates, and maybe like a lot of DCU fans are just not getting, is I think there's a way for y'all to have hype like Marvel has. I would argue the DCKO event and the All-In universe has more motion and hype than anything Marvel Comics has going on right now, right? So it's not like DC can't have that. It's just like, this is not how you do that. This whole thing was not executed the right way. And again, like, I've kind of been saying that, and I think now we're sort of living in the reality of that just being what it is. And some people maybe don't necessarily even understand why. Well, that's because, like, there's this whole part of the job that Kevin does that people, like, totally look past. I mean, this dude will schedule filming so that he has footage for Comic-Con. Now, of course, the last couple of years have been crazy and, you know, a lot of movement and a lot of skipping Comic-Cons. But, like, dude, there's a reason Marvel was the best in town and created what it created. And that guy, Kevin, was very dialed into how to keep the fandom engaged. And, you know, whether it's just the concept of a post-credit scene or it's the concept of like a tease at Comic-Con where Loki comes out in full garb at Comic-Con or whatever. There's just little things that make a big difference. And Gunn is not that guy, you know, in my opinion. So unless I would just bring somebody on, like I would just bring somebody on to do that. You know, that's how I see it.